All right. Hey. Let me get this up. Okay, dokes. Okay, I was just tripping. I was looking at it being a little slow enough, so we're ready. Hey, Nicolette. Miss Jackson. How are you two? I'm very excited to be moving with y'all today. I want to do like a big hip opener class today where we like get into some big prone shapes on the floor. But as always, I'm open to a little bit of anything, a little bit of everything. Can we do a smidge of shoulders too? Yes. Need to get back into yoga things because I've been bad lately. Bad. I always love to do shoulders, so yes. So on that note, let's make sure we also have a strap just in case. Maybe we'll get into some Gomukhasana today. That'll be nice. All right, I say we go make it happen because time flies. I'm gonna make these lights behind me a little bit brighter. All right. Hey. Oh my God, Pi, are you so excited? The second I get over here, she hustles her bustle over to come hang out with me. And that I appreciate. Yeah? Should we start on the floor so we can hang out? All right, I've got some blocks up here. If I was my strap, I would be over here, sitting on my bar. So You can use anything as a strap. You guys know that. But you can be, based on your needs, if you have really tight shoulders, I've been recommending for people to use a resistance band. This was a loop, but then a student of mine broke it. So now we have one of those. All right, let's get started seated like pie. And we'll begin by just taking a couple breaths just to ground ourselves, even if you're still feeling, a little unsettled, a little ungrounded. It's all good. I just inhaled a cat hair through my left nostril, but it's okay. All right. Obviously, I haven't been grounding. I'm just smacking my cat's butt. But let's get into some breath to movement. So we'll start with some cat, cow. So moving from a contracted spine to an extended spine. Good, let's take some full circles. So Sufi grinds so that we can start to get into the low back and hips. And let's reverse, other way. And the next time we're contracted, let's switch the crossing of our legs. So opposite is in front. And we're going to begin a little bit of twisting action. Left hand will come onto your right knee. Right arm will take this big backstroke behind you. I'm busy. All right, let's unwind. We'll do the same thing other side. Right hand onto your left knee. Big backstroke to get into your twist. All right, let's unwind our twist. Contract, so you can get both of your legs forward in front of you, nice and long. And we'll sit up nice and tall. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Reach your arms up, take an inhale breath. Exhale, seated forward fold. Feeling the soreness today. Okay, let's bring ourselves back up into this seated position, and I want us to bring our arms overhead. Take a breath in. With your exhale, sweep the right arm down, reach to the back. Good, bring it back up, inhale breath, exhale, take it to the other side. Let's do 2 more. Good, 1 more. All right, now I want you to open up into a twist towards your right one more time. I want you to lean back and contract. Beautiful, bring yourselves back up, nice and straight through the spine. Same thing to the left. Twist, and then lean back and contract. Beautiful. Bring yourselves all the way back up. Bend your knees, toes onto the floor. Hands can keep extending up or reach to the front, boat position. You can also bring your feet up. You can add layers back. Let's try to hold. Last 4, 3. We've got low boat in 2 and 1. Hands can come to the floor as you extend out and exhale, bring it back in. Let's go for 8 to 10. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move to all fours, tabletop. Okay, we'll bump out our hips a little bit. Just had to get the core and hip flexors turned on a little bit. All right, let's go into an open tabletop position here. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. We'll take a breath in. With your exhale, let's go into threaded needle. Now, since we're going to move our way towards Gomukhasana, it's really important that we get into some internal rotation with our arms. So I'm going to invite you to do a half bind with the left hand. The hand can rest on the low back. If you have pretty good spinal mobility, maybe you're able to wrap this entire arm around your body, find the top of the thigh, the inner thigh even. We'll take one more breath in and breath out. All right, let's untangle the left arm. Bring yourself back up towards all fours, but let's spin open towards a modified side plank position. So left hand is on the ground, right arm is up. Let's take some big side stretch moments here. So right arm reaches up and over, and with your exhale, lift back up. Option to also lift up your right leg. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Now return the right foot to the floor. Let's bring ourselves all the way up into a standing kneel. Traditionally, I would go into like a gate position here, but because we're doing some deeper hip opening, I'm just gonna do some repetition through some kneeling lunges here. This is typically something I do for like a weight training warm up or if I'm just wanting to do mobility drills, but it's a really nice way to get the hips going. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's return all the way towards the front. I know a lot of time on your left knee. Let's lift up our right leg behind us. We'll pull the knee in towards our chest, round and contract, and we'll do 2 more. Good, next time you're extended, bend into your knee. Let's take our left arm, take it back and around, and try to grab your right foot. This is a really tough move to get into so early, but we're just gonna go for it anyways. Stay for 3. Last 2. And 1, release. All right, let's do all that on the other side. Left arm reaches up. And let's thread our needle with our half bound right arm. let's release. We'll bring our right hand back to the floor and let's move open into our modified side plank shape. Okay, side arc, left arm up and over. Exhale back to neutral with the option to lift the foot. Inhale, arc. Exhale, lift up into your balance. Let's do one more. Exhale, lift up. We'll bring our foot to the ground. Bring yourself up. Kneeling lunge position. All right, we'll bend into our knee and push it back a couple times. All right, last two. And one. Let's bring ourselves all the way back to the front. Square off through your hips. Lift up your left leg. Knee to nose. Two. And last one. Extend the leg back. Bend into your knee. Let's try to go for our balance. Reach the right arm up, back, and around. Capture your foot and kick up. Stay for three. Last two. And one. Release, bring it down. Shake that out a little bit, and then let's go back into downward facing dog. Our first one. So pedal out your legs. Shake things up a little bit to feel good in this shape. Our first inversion. Okay, we'll lift up our heels, bend your knees, see the front. Let's travel to the front. Halfway lift, inhale, breath. Exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. And once we make it all the way up, we're actually gonna do some more shoulder drills here. So going for some cars or controlled articulatory rotations. We'll start with our right side. So right arm will go up, back, and around. Now you can do this with flared open fingers. Some people like to do this with a fist. And reverse. Okay, the next time the right arm is behind you, let's tuck it in. Hand that may be, dangling down by your side or across your chest. Let's make our little ball of fist here, so interlacing the fingers together. And we'll lean our head away from the right shoulder. Okay, let's bring head back to neutral. Let's take a chest expansion moment, big lift. And let's release and do all that on the other side, this time left arm. So cars, taking it up, back, and around. Honestly, Emma, I'm really glad you mentioned shoulders, even though you're like, just do a pinch. We're gonna do more. Okay, reverse. And the next time the left arm is extended back behind you, let's tuck it in. Find your connection here on the side, and we'll lean our head away from the left shoulder. Man, my neck also needed this. Okay, head back to neutral. Let's take the hands back behind you. Chest expansion, you can stay upright or join me in a folded version. All right, wherever you're at, let's fold forward, releasing the hands down. Come into a wider stance with your feet for Malasana. Now, if you're feeling a little rickety and like Malasana is giving you some problems, maybe you need a moment to warm up, pivoting on your toes from side to side. Okay, let's bring our hands down to the floor. Lift up your hips enough to kind of clear that space to get back into a high plank. Chaturanga, you can do this modified with your knees down, modified by skipping it completely, whatever back bend you like. Low cobras or upward facing. Take it back into downward facing dog. Good, let's repeat and build. Lift your heels, bend your knees, see the front. Step or travel however you like to the front. Let's go halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing. Inhale, breath. Exhale, open twist to the right. Inhale, bring yourselves back up. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, breath. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, move through chaturanga. Upward facing, exhale, downward facing dog. One more round of breath. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, travel to the front into a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Open twist right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, twist left. Back up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Upward facing, or sorry, halfway lift. Step back, move through your chaturanga, which has an upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going another round. We're gonna add on even more now. Lift your heels, bend your knees, see the front, travel. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Ridiculous. Rise up to standing. Inhale, breath. With your exhale, bring hands to heart center. Lift up your right leg and open up the hip. Let's go for tree pose, Vrikshasana. Sole of the foot can be on the inner thigh, inside of the calf, or even all the way down on the floor by the ankle. Good, really nice active hip opener here from this standing position. Focus on the glute, helping you open up the leg. Okay, let's bring this right leg back into its neutral position. Arms reach up, open twist. Left hand can rest on the outside of your right leg. You can even grab for the foot. Go for revolved hand to big toe pose if you want to really get wild with it today. Good, 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's release. Take a big step back with this right foot. Go for a low lunge twist, so left arm reaching up. And let's go for a side plank. Step your left foot back. You can modify this with the knee on the floor. Hold for 3. Last 2. And 1. Return hand down. Chaturangas. Upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. Reset, 1 more breath in. And breath out. Lift your heels, inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Travel to the front. Halfway lift with your breath in. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing. Inhale, breath. Exhale, bring hands to heart center and lift up your left leg. Vrikshasana. Adjust your leg into an externally rotated position. Sole of the foot towards the inner thigh, inner calf, inner ankle, all the way down by the floor. I'm working hands at heart center just to keep things simple, but you can do whatever you want. We'll stay for another breath in and a breath out. All right, bring the left leg into a neutral position. Arms back up, open twist. You can go hand on the outside of the leg. Maybe you tried for hand to big toe pose from the jump. Really nice stretch for the IT band. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's go all the way down to our low lunge. Twist, right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. And then side plank. Right leg steps back. You can always modify with the left knee down. All right, both hands back to the floor. High to mid plank. Upward facing. And with your exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can take a break in child's pose. You can keep working, especially for the shoulders, with a dolphin position. So both elbows come down towards the floor, still in a down dog-like shape. Just doing a little more strength for the shoulders. You can also join me in doing some dolphin push-ups. Moving forwards and backwards. We'll all meet in a kneel after I finish these 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're working your dolphin, lower your knees to the floor. If you are in child's pose, walk your hands back so that you're in a kneel. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling a lot more warm. Let's get into the second piece of our flow here, which will give us some more preparation for our deeper shapes. Right. I want us to go into a standing fold at the back of our mat. So I'm going to tuck my toes, push myself back, and fold forwards at the back. We'll soften our knees, roll yourself up to standing. Arms reach up, inhale, breath. And with your exhale, sit back, chair position. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale, let's find eagle arms. Right arm goes underneath the left, and you can bear hug, or you can bring your hands together, whatever works. Work into your depth, stay. Last 3. Last 2. Good, and one, release the hands down, forward fold. Walk yourself forwards into a high plank position. Pull the right knee in towards your chest, and then lift up into three-legged dog. Knee back to nose, and lift. Knee to nose, and lift. Let's do two more. Right leg lifts up. Let's open up the hip now. Now, if you join me in that dolphin position earlier, this might feel a bit of an easier transition for you, but you can do asymmetrical three-legged dog by lowering your left forearm down. All right, let's bring ourselves back up. Knee to nose, step through low lunge. Option to use some blocks here. As you floss, open the hips a few times. Okay, next time we're in an extended front leg position or half split, let's add in a twist. Beautiful, you can bind. Stay for 3. Last 2. And 1, let's release, returning your right hand back to the block. We'll rebend into our front knee, tuck left toes, lift up your back knee, walk it forward, and come into standing split. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be wild, just has to be your split position. All right, let's plie, tap left knee towards your right calf, and lift back up. Much more active kind of exercise for opening up your hamstrings, your hips. We'll go for 2. And on that last one, hold left knee to your right calf. Standing leg still in a bent position. Let's get light on our blocks. Find a slight rounding and a pulling in of your core. Maybe you bring one hand to heart center. Maybe it's both hands to heart center. We're gonna step back into a lunge in 3, in 2, and 1. High crescent, arms reach up. Take a breath in, and with your exhale, warrior 2. Make the adjustments you need so that the right heel is bisecting your back arch. Right palm flips. Inhale, reverse. With your exhale, side angle. Right arm down, left arm up. Again, inhale, reverse. Back to your side angle, this time with half bind or full. Now, if you are going for that full, I want you to still feel like you can lean back into the leg instead of swinging the hips out to make this happen. All right, if you're fully bound, let's release so that you're back in your side angle with arms extended. And let's straighten out our right leg, triangle position. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, let's bring ourselves all the way back up to a neutral standing shape. And then star. Take a breath in. Exhale, goddess squat. Inhale up. Exhale, goddess squat. 3. Good, 2. And last 1. Bring yourselves all the way back up. Adjust the feet as they were for a reverse triangle. And with your exhale, let's take it down, back into a low lunge twist. Let's return to our side plank, this time with option to add in a tree leg. Nice. Can you keep that tree leg as you go through chaturanga? Releasing for your upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, let's walk it to the back of our mats. Rise up into standing. And with your exhale, let's go into our chair. If you remember, this is how we started. Left arm underneath the right. Eagle position arms. Try to get deep in your chair shape. Stay for 3. Last 2. And 1, take it down. Walk it forward into your high plank. Left knee comes to chest. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. The next time the left leg is lifted, let's open up the hip. And I gave y'all the option of lowering the right forearm down. So asymmetrical, 3-legged dog. Hold for 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's bring the left knee in towards your chest. Step through to your low lunge. Find your blocks. Let's floss it. This always feels like kind of a break, at least for me. A moment to compose myself. All right, next time we're gonna, in our extended left leg position, let's reach our left arm up. Beautiful. Let's go for our half bind. Trying to keep length in the side of the waist. All right, let's return our left hand onto the block. Rebend into your front knee, tuck back toe, lift back knee. Let's go for our standing split, other side. And to make this more active, let's go for our taps. Now again, height doesn't have to be your sole focus. I like to think about control, squareness in my hips. The fact that this is a really amazing way to feel stronger and more flexible. 3, 2, and 1. Let's keep the knee onto the calf. And let's slowly start to take away the training wheels here. Light on the fingers. Hand to heart, hand to heart. We'll step back in 3, and 2, and 1. Step back, high lunge. Take a breath in. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Let's take a half bind. Great place to be, great place to stay. Full bind, not for everybody, but a nice way to get a lot of depth in the hips and open your shoulders. If you're fully bound, let's release. We'll meet in our lowest version of this position. And then take it into your triangle, extend through the leg. Take a breath in. And with your exhale, let's bring ourselves up, star shape. Let's take our goddess squats. Now that everything's feeling even and lovely. Last two. Last one. Reverse triangle, just through the feet. And exhale, let's take it all the way down to our low lunge twist to go into side plank with tree leg as an option. 3, 2. Can you keep it as you go through? Releasing for your upward facing dog. Oh. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's come down to our knees real quick. And I want to spend our last 10 minutes or so getting into some deeper, grounded hip and shoulder work. So this is where potentially blocks will get used, straps will get used. Not for everybody, but you know, potential, you'll want these. So we're gonna begin. I actually would love to do puppy position first, just to get deeper into my chest and shoulders real quick. So hips will go above your knees. We'll walk our hands forward. And taking either your forehead, your face, maybe chest, chin down to the floor. And I want you to think about active shoulders. So feel almost like you're trying to wrap them externally. All right, let's pull ourselves out of there. And let's get set up for our Gomu legs first. So knees come together. I'm gonna take both my feet, turn them over towards the left-hand side of my mat, pick up my left leg, cross it, and have my left foot now over towards the right-hand side. Now this is where maybe you sit back down onto a block, but it's kind of one of those see how it goes moments, right? Sometimes the shape feels super accessible until you kind of dial the knobs on some of the details. So maybe that looks like your feet coming closer to your hips, feet coming out further. For me, the further out, the more difficult. And we do want to try to stack our knees. All right, so this is our Gomukhasana hip shape. Great, lovely. Gomukhasana arms. Now for our arms, this is where lots of folks may need a strap. So right arm will come up and over, bending. Left arm will tuck behind you. And the fingers want to try to find each other in an S grip. If you're like, there's no way I'm getting that today, Then you pick up your strap or your band, you dangle it behind you, kind of up by your head, catch the other side of it, and crawl the hands as close together as you can. Try to get nice and upright through the body. Good. You can hinge forward for a little extra hip intensity. Stay for 3. Last 2. And 1. Release the shoulders. Whew. To get out of the hips, let's just lean back. Take some windshield wipers. That shape is like, this is one of the hardest shapes for me. There's a lot going on in there. Okay, let's do the other side. Again, just super simple transitions. We'll walk our knees together. Let's turn both toes, pointing my butt at you, over to the right. Pick up the right leg, cross it behind, try to get the toe over to the other side of your mat. Sit back, maybe onto the floor or onto a block. And then do all the little wiggles and things to feel settled. You want to try to get both of your sit bones on the floor. To me, that's the hardest part, while also trying to keep your knees stacked. Okay, once you're ready to add in the arms, let's play. So left arm goes up and over to the top of your spine. Right arm internally rotates. This one has always been my kryptonite due to shoulder injuries, but I'm still grateful I can do an S grip, so. All right, I'm gonna lean forward a little bit. I'm also gonna release my S grip because my shoulder had enough of that. Anybody else tired of these Black Friday, Cyber Monday texts? I'm like, why are you texting me on my watch? Dr. Martin, you have had enough of my money this year. Okay, let's bring ourselves back up. Untangle your arms. That is brutal. Ugh. Shake out the limbs a little bit here. All right, and we'll go into a Baddha Konasana. So feet together, knees wide. If you're looking for a more intensive hip opener, then maybe you will want to join me in a prone frog. Most people will like to turn sideways on their mat so that they can keep that extra cushioning. You can also stay the same direction you are, but use a towel or something. Kind of surprised this is actually feeling pretty good. Now, some things to look for in your prone position. Making sure that your hips aren't too far forward or behind your knees. We want to try to have some right angles with those spots in our body. I like to even make sure my ankles are right underneath my knees, so I'm not too pulled together or the other way out. Now, if you do want to bring a bit of spine extension into it, you could essentially, bring your upper body into like what is your, Sphinx position. That's what I like to do if I'm trying to kind of do a little two bird, one stone action here. Even lifting up your elbows, holy shit. Now I feel it. Last 3, last 2, and 1. Ugh! No beautiful, gorgeous way to get out of this one. My goodness. All right, let's put your doll parts back together. I'm just gonna sit. That's what feels best for me today. And then we'll sit off to one side. And let's do some adducted final twists here. So left leg extends, right foot crosses over, hug the knee, take a twist. All right, let's counter twist. So both hands go over towards your left, round your spine. Bring yourself back up, switch your legs. Crossing over, hooking the arm. All right, counter twist. And let's bring ourselves all the way back. Let's lay down on our backs. Bring your knees with you. Now, what my body says would be fucking awesome right now is plow. If you're not into that idea, you can just go for a legs up the wall. Or if you're into some plow, you can work towards your shoulder stand. That feels nice on my neck. Legs come up and overhead. I've got little blocks I need to move. And let's work ourselves out, coming all the way down to the floor. And we'll take these last 2 minutes of our time together in a meditation, an opportunity to observe. Let's start to take some deeper breaths. Taking some subtle movements through your body. Think of something that is keeping you grounded and is keeping you tethered right now. A person, a place, an object, an idea, a dream. I know that whatever comes up for you today, this week, the rest of this year, know that you have something that you know in this moment helps you stay grounded and tethered. Cling to that thing, nourish that thing. As always, friends, super grateful. Looking forward to our next session together. Thank you all so much. Oof, I'm feeling good. Hips and shoulders. right. So, pretty standard schedule this week. We'll have our reset, our myofascial and stretch release class this Wednesday. Same time as this one for my Patreon babes. We're looking into doing another full moon, new moon, kind of depends on where we're at in the cycle, gathering this week. So if you're not a part of my Patreon on the Discord, come through, join us. It'll be a blast. Hopefully, Nicolette, you can come as well, since I don't think you're on that Discord too much. And yeah. Yay, I'm so glad, Emma. Realized my shoulder mobility sucked during our drive home when I couldn't easily grab snacks in the back seat. Isn't it funny how it's little moments like that and you're like, oh, you know what? I could use a little help here. Love it. Never on the D? What are you talking about, Nicolette? Or what am I talking about? All right, my lovelies. Adore you all so much. The Discord. Girl, you can't just say the D. My mind goes somewhere totally different. I started thinking about the D. You know what I mean? I've just got my mind in the gutter. What can I say? All right, y'all. Have a beautiful Monday. Happy frickin' December. Can you believe it? We're already here. I can't. This year went by fast. I love you all so much. And I look forward to our next one. We're pretty much going the whole month. Every Monday is going to have a flow. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all. Last month of streaming before 2026. Let's do it. All right, lovelies. I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming.